Hello, lovelies, and welcome to Wednesday Lunch Break and Foodie Chat. I am your host, Mama Maggie Ward, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer, and one of the more prolific writers you've never heard of. My lovely hosts today are Laura Compton and Laura Nettles, and I will let them introduce themselves.
Okay, here's how you can differentiate us. I am Lara, like Lara Croft. It's spelled the same way as Miss Laura, but I am Lara Crampton. I'm here. I woke up. I had a half day on my schedule this morning. I have a training at work later today. And I was like, well, who needs me? Put me somewhere. And here we are. I'm very excited to be here. I don't have anything published, but I am getting published in my university's lit journal later this semester. So,
is it a short story, a poem? What is it?
It's a poem about road rage on I-15 in Salt Lake City, Utah. It is
I have been on that road. I have been on that road.
It's my piece de resistance. Later, if you check out my channel, you can. There's like a video like reading my work at like an open mic night. You can absolutely check that out. Or like I won a literary award. I also read it there. So huzzah. It's a great one.
Nice.
I have peaked. I will never write anything better.
Until tomorrow.
All of us feel that way. And then tomorrow comes and we write something better.
Yep.
One day.
I am Laura Nettles. I am in San Diego, but I went to school at BYU in Utah. So I drove that 15 all the way back and forth.
Oh, you've
all
been there.
All the time.
You get the vibe.
My cousins are an hour out of Vegas. So sometimes we drive to the cousins, spend the night, and then drive the rest to college. Because me and my sister both went to the Provo campus, and my other siblings went to the Rexburg campus.
Oh, geez. That's way out there.
Yeah. They were in the Ice Age.
Oh, always.
Yeah. Anyway, I write horror and erotic romance and who knows what else, all the things. Currently drafting a Dark Academia, 1860s Whitby, England, throuple, exorcisms, secret society, murder, all the things. And Roy is now on the other end of the couch, like, you wouldn't let me put my head on your keyboard? Fine, I'm abandoning you. So, I know. But it is rainy out there today, so I am excited.
Here too.
Yeah, it's 57 degrees.
Yeah.
It's 40 here, and blue skies, bluebird skies, what we call them in Colorado, as far as you can see. And it is so dry today that I'm probably going to have to water. As soon as it warms up above 50, I'm going to have to water. And this is unreal for February. Okay, so you know how they have the drought monitors and the moisture monitors, and they have the highest level, they have the medium, and they have the lowest level?
Uh-huh.
We are at 50% of the lowest level. We are 27% of median for moisture in Colorado this year. The fire season is going to be a nightmare.
I'm scared too for Utah. It's been
You're going to be like California.
Our driest.
California has gotten like way more moisture than the western slope and the Rockies. Fun fact, Hawaii had 10 feet of snow this winter before Colorado did. Yeah. White Mountain, Hawaii had 10 feet of snow before Colorado.
Florida's gotten more snow than the state of Utah.
Florida's
we're supposed to have the greatest snow on earth, and here we are with nothing.
Yeah, the resorts are dying. The resorts
have to make their own snow.
And
they've been making snow. We got decent snow in end of September, and everyone was like, yeah, October 15th, opening for the resorts. And then we got nothing. November and December were the warmest, driest months on record.
Crazy.
It was insane. Christmas week, people were walking around in shorts in Colorado.
Yeah.
All right.
Normally I go to the beach around Christmas, but California.
Yeah. Okay. So our topic today, you know me, always about the foodie chats. So question number 1 today is, do your characters have actual set meal times? Like, do they sit down for breakfast or lunch or dinner, or do they just have random meals? Just because, like, I read a book once where the characters never ate any, it did, unless they never ate. And I was like, how are you still alive?
So fair. Food has been weird in my story. I'm writing a sci-fi alien romance. And it starts with them crash landing in the jungle. So they're kind of having to hunt and scavenge for food. And then I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out, like, what do aliens eat?
Mhm.
I don't know. Still working on the food thing for us. But for now, it's random grazing as they are trying to survive in the jungle.
Nice. Are they like watching the animals and see what the animals eat to see what's safe?
One of them is from the planet and knows some things. The alien male is from the planet. The human female is a little trepidatious because she doesn't want to have a. It was a. It's probably one of the best sentences I've ever written, but about having like explosive bowel movements in the middle of the forest, like on an alien planet.
The most romantic.
There's no romance yet. They're just getting to know each other in this part, but anyway, so that's food for us. Laura, take it away.
Mine is taking place at a college. So a made-up college, but a college nonetheless. I actually wrote out times tables for my 3 POV characters. So I know where their classes are, who the professors are, what time slots, and I have their meals all scheduled in as well. So in general, I closed it. Dang it. I have a screenshot of it in my document.
Oh,
Let's see. So they have liturgy of the hours at 7 a.m. and then they have breakfast at 8, Monday through Saturday. Lunches, depending on your time slot for your classes, you're either at noon or 1. And then dinners at 6 or 7, depending on your schedule. And then they have vespers at 8. Sundays, they have liturgy at 7, mass at 8, brunch at 10, dinner at 3. So, yes.
Nice.
Very set schedule.
Yes.
You know me, I've got food in all of my stuff. There's foodiness everywhere. Relic of Time Wars. They have meals together, like family meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's in Cretaceous Conspiracy, there's a scene where they're eating. There's several scenes where they're eating in the kitchen around the island, and then there's a scene where they actually all sit in the living room, and the youngest character is like, I don't think we've ever used this room. And there's a really fun scene in where in which relic, it's in one of the Relic of Time Wars, where my assassin, my huntsman are visiting. Yuri is Kayla's brother, and Darcy is Daisy's best friend, and they're visiting Kayla's and Daisy's castle for dinner, and they're deboning dodos. And of course, Yuri's a huntsman, so he's got real good knife skills, but Darcy's an assassin, so she's actually faster than him with a knife. And they're racing to see who gets to who's deboning the bird fastest. And a lot of fun scenes like that. Regular meals are a thing in all of my books. There are meals, there's cooks and recipes in all of my books, but the regular meals are a thing in all of my books. All right, question number 2. I'm going through this fast because we've got 6 questions to go through. So yeah. Wait, I need to do the comments real quick.
Yeah, I saw one here from Stephanie Dwyer.
Cat Paw says random.
Yeah.
Not gonna, because you're gonna give me. It's fine. My characters are always either eating, looking for food, getting poisoned by food or poisoning other people's food. Gwenna, that's hysterical. That is absolutely. I love that. I love that so much.
Do they have the assassin's teapot where it's the dual chamber and where you're holding it depends on which liquid comes out?
Oh my god.
They're really cool.
I really liked this one from Stephanie because that's probably why I forget to feed my characters. Is that's just the ADHD. I don't think about it.
Yeah. Fun fact, my theory in book 1, all of those things happen at least twice. That's funny.
Lovely, lovely.
Randy says Melanie's definitely the kind of person who snacks a bit, but she has some disordered eating that because of her current boyfriend. Iggy doesn't eat much because of his childhood trauma. Emmy says random, rarely done, not random. Lena, hello, welcome to my channel. Very structured breakfast every day, but the rest of the meals rarely exist on the page. Thinking about companion cookbook for mine, written in the character's handwriting. One is from New Orleans. One is from Southeast Texas, and they are stranded on an island, so recipes in each setting. Thank you, Jenny. Love self-aware characters. Yeah, Daisy, my primary female character in Relic of Time War, the series. She doesn't appear until book 3. Daisy literally if she's working on a project, she forgets to eat, she forgets to sleep, she forgets self-care. Nothing matters but the box. Whatever is in her puzzle box, that is where she is focused. And other characters have literally walked in on her eating something that she has microwaved into charcoal, and she's just like working. And like we talked about yesterday, she's destroyed Kayla's gourmet kitchen 11 times. 11 times in 400 years, she has burned his kitchen to the ground. So yeah, she's not allowed in the kitchen. I'm trying not to write as much about.
When did they decide she wasn't allowed? After which number of kitchen burning down?
Oh no, they were warned when Daisy met the Etherians to go back to Etheria. They were warned, do not let her in a kitchen. We are not kidding about she cannot cook thing. And Kayla didn't listen. And like it got to the point during the resettlement of Etheria where they actually took his cooking range out of their house and only left her with an InstaWave. Because she was, they were afraid she was going to burn their house down before he got back. And companion cookbooks, yeah. I have a book on my on Wattpad and Inkit where Cora has 6 chapters of recipes in it. Hello, Eva. Welcome.
Eva wanted to know what the question was.
The question was, do your characters have set meal times, or are they random meals?
Or are you remembering to feed them at all?
Yeah. Do you remember to feed them at all?
My characters just missed dinner because of a panic attack, so, you know.
My story starts with a meal and has several throughout it. I tend to lean on meal times or festivity foods when introducing new characters. And that just is perfect because it brings us right to the next question. What are the festival foods, the feast and festival foods like? I do things like I'm a big Anne McCaffrey fan. So when there's festivals, there's hand pies. I love and I'm also grew up in the Midwest, moved to Texas. So walking around with a hand pie or food on a stick is completely normal to me.
The aliens on this planet are like, they're really big people. And the main male character is a soldier. He's like a super soldier. So they eat a lot of meat. So there's going to be a lot of meats and such, smoked meats at their festivals or parties or whatever that they end up having. I don't know.
They're shindigs.
Yeah, whatever they do.
I have no idea yet. My character arrived the night of New Year's Eve, but like midnight. So New Year's Day, he missed the New Year's Day dinner because of panic attack. Because oh no, he's hot. But yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Well, there are
is.
liturgical feast days in the Catholic churches
Mhm,
and times when
mhm.
you eat specific foods or don't eat specific foods.
I don't
Like
know.
during the entirety of Lent, you don't eat beef or sugar.
Okay. Yeah. So I got to do more research.
My trolls are vegetarian only because of the world itself doesn't do livestock. That's what really brought this up. In my Arthurian in the Fey Woods, there is a seed grown called heart spice, which is brewed into beer. It makes a hot drink, pure liquid libido. They drink it at their annual Masquerade Fall Festival. Nice, nice. Am I not updating? I am not getting comments. Oh, come on, YouTube. All right. If you are having trouble posting comments, just like copy them and keep trying to repost them. YouTube has been on this tiff the last 2 days where it's not letting people like post things. It's like the parental controls have gone through the roof, even though they're
Yeah.
turned off, and it's driving everyone bonkies because everything is set right, but it's like they are catching the weirdest words. Yeah, I have a thing in the Book of Elo, the Ghost with series, about my human Annie ends up on the world of Elo in book 2, and they have a feast because she ends up marrying Admant Vanthal, and this is a groomed. The world of Elo is a completely groomed habitat. Everything that exists there has a purpose. And pretty much the only thing that exists there that they don't want to exist there are the little aphid mice, and they've not managed to find a way to kill them. They can kill them with they have felines on the planet. The only reason they exist is to kill the little aphid mice, and there is a way to chemically kill them, but everyone is so allergic to the chemical that it's extremely risky because every bit of the chemical has to be cleaned up to kill them. I mean, they can literally swim through sewage and fuel and stuff, and their weird little fur protects them. But they're hexapods, and so everything on the planet is groomed, and they don't have unhealthy foods at all. Every food is designed for maximum nutrition. They don't have sugar. They don't have coffee. They don't have chocolate. Annie thinks she's going to die because they don't have the 3 things she loves most. And they have this feast, and she's like so excited because they serve pasta. And she's like, noodles, and she's like slurping them, and she's like, I didn't know you guys had noodles. And they're like, her basically manservant that's been assigned to her is like, ma'am, they're not noodles. And she's like, what am I eating? And he goes, they're the closest word is tentacles. And she's like, what am I eating? And it's basically like a giant sea centipede. And they cut off the tentacles and they blanch them like noodles, and then they serve it with the centipede meat. And she's just like, well, I guess technically sea bugs is seafood, so
That's what shrimps is.
in my Fey realm, they've eaten through all the cows, so the oldest remembered cows are fiending for a good beef stew. They're all obsessed with milk and cheese. Yeah, I love that. All right. Question 3. Do they have foods and drinks as intoxicants? Well, we know from Gwenna's world they do. They
seem to be. Yes. Drinks.
Elsa says, in my main story, officially they have ceremonies. turtle release ceremony. That's nice.
Oh. I have so this is like an alternate history because Catholicism is still in England in this version. But there's going to be like multiple church, so there'll be multiple denominations within the country with their own ways of tackling the demonic forces that are plaguing the country. Well, the world basically. So I think on super special occasions they may have mead made by friars brought in. So we shall see.
It took me too long to understand what you said, what friars meant. I'm very sorry. I was like, what? Oh,
the monks,
like
the
churchy
monks.
friars, not Frenchy friars. I got you.
No, not the friars of French fries.
Yeah, Eva says that they have some ale and cider. Stopping
Hi,
in.
Lauren.
Yes. Thank you for stopping in, Lauren. We appreciate it. Gwenna gave my red wedding vibes. Imagine with your potion. Wow. Crackle Barrel just released 2026 salt and pepper shakers. About $300. Don't do it. Don't do it. In
You don't even have room for other 5 sets.
In a year, you'll be able to get them at a thrift store for $5.
God, that's so right.
Drinks as intoxicants. One of my main characters surprised me with a flavor enhancement to put in wine. It sure does make the flavor of the wine stronger, but it also causes more drunkenness. Yep. Love that. Yeah. Don't do it, Eva. We're here to help you. We support you.
Over here, Gwenna.
Eva's here to support Gwenna. Yeah, bad guys had kidnapped and tortured innocent halflings. So of course, White Light Lancelot. Nice. Do they measure?
Do they also pay your taxes? Like if they pay your taxes and clean your house.
Okay. Here, Eva. Let's put this in perspective. $300.
It's Gwenna that wants to get it.
Or Gwenna. Let's put this in perspective. $300 for salt and pepper shakers, or 50 printed copies of your book from Amazon or Ingram Spark. Because $5 to $6 per printed copy. So think about it in the number of books that you can have printed to sell and sign and give away versus, see, that's how I have to think of things now. How many print copies can I get for what this thing I want to buy is? Hi, Dante. Yeah. In Relic of Time Wars, the Ethereans are very immune to intoxicants. So like they drink like distilled wine and distilled meads to like ramp up. I mean they can drink a bottle of Everclear to get that. That's how they get drunk, is like almost 200 proof alcohol. Mm-hmm. So when there's a intoxicant that comes around, that's technically a magic intoxicant called orb or oblectamen, and it is made with magic and dark water. So it is a magical intoxicant, and it comes in these little enchanted glass bubbles, and you can't break the bubble of glass unless you want what's inside. And you inhale it, and it removes all your inhibitions. The problem is once you get addicted to orb, you can then be contaminated with dark water, which is the essence of liquid evil, and then be indwelled by a shadow entity. And people will do anything for orb. They will let you do anything to them as long as they can have orb, because it gives them this euphoric feeling like nothing is wrong. Like Terra Earth wasn't harvested. Their loved ones didn't die. Life is good. They don't have to worry about food or rent or anything like that. And it's basically in the Gaian colonies, in the majority Terra Earth colonies, human colonies, It's basically encouraged drug use. You literally get a stipend to cover your rent, your food, and your orb. And the biggest of those stipends is the orb stipend. So all the money the government gives you allowances to get orb, they get back because they're the only ones who make orb. And it is extremely hard to get off orb. It is because it's like blood magic addiction. Once you start, even if you quit, there is always that temptation to just go back to it. If a taco brings you joy, how many tacos of joy could you get for the? Yeah. It's basically, yeah. All humans would be lost in that part. Yeah. And not just humans, the Etherians too, because they went from 10 million, a population of 10 million to a population of less than 5,000 in a day. So Earth went from 8 billion to just over 250,000 in a day. That's the kind of that kind of trauma just does not go away. Yeah, orb. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, everybody does it and they don't care. And when their food production, when their colony gets almost wiped out and their food production is destroyed, instead of replacing their medicine production or their food production, the first thing the Gaians do is replace their orb production. That is the first thing they rebuild because everyone on Gaia is an addict. Yeah, and when it runs out, it becomes they end up spending like a year detoxing the people who escaped the Gaian colony before the harvest. Because, and fortunately they make it so it can't be made anymore, but yeah, one of the worst part is when they evacuate the Gaia colony, they discover that none of the children above the age of 2 has not been molested. All of them above the age of 2, and even infants have been exposed to orb. So literally, they spend a year detoxing like 30,000 people. It's yeah, that was I wrote that because I wanted there to be like a super drug. All right, next question. Question number 4. What are the foods in your world that you would love to try? In your fiction world, what are the foods that you would love to try? Now, in Pagosa Cliffs, in my Contemporary Overcomer, I've got the Wild and Enemy Bakery. The recipes are in all the Pagosa Cliffs and Enemies books. You've got 2 or 3 recipes in the back of each book of all different kinds of velvet cake. I have made all of these cakes. My favorite is black velvet, which is an espresso dark chocolate velvet cake with a caramel frosting and caramel cappuccino frosting with a caramel drizzle. Wow. That is my favorite. The lemon velvet cake, the golden velvet, is very, very good. The lemon drop cupcakes, love them so much. I like a good tart lemony cupcake with a sweet vanilla cream ice on it. In Relic of Time Wars, of course, it's the brownies. Have to have the brownies, and I would definitely be in a absolute panic like Daisy and Davin and all of my coffee chocolate addicts from Terra Earth, my Earth equivalent, having to go to the colonies to escape the harvest and discovering that the soil and climates on most of the planets are not suitable for growing chocolate or coffee. I would just be like, oh, I'm just leave me here to die. Let the devourer consume my soul and life force. I didn't know. And there's a scene where the coffee plantation, the one successful coffee plantation, is attacked, and Daisy's like, Damien's come to destroy my coffee, and she's like having like her first cup of coffee and like a while, and she turns to like the second strongest warrior in their warrior copes, hands him her cup of coffee and says, "Don't spill it." And then she runs to fight the enemy. And he's like, "It's just coffee." And the guy who is the head of Jura is like, "You don't understand. This is the rarest commodity in the colonies. If you spill it, she will end you." And someday when I start doing book festivals, I'm planning on getting like a really good French roast, like a guana French roast, and selling it in little packets named Duran Coffee Company.
There's some fruit in mine that I would love to try. Some like really juicy pears and such. That I may or may not have based off of fruit in the Pokemon anime. They have really good looking fruit.
Anime has delicious looking food a lot of the time.
I know it. I know.
Studio Ghibli breakfast, yes, please.
Delicious in dungeon. It's like, do we want to eat?
I've never seen anyone eat a suit of armor before.
Whoa.
Delicious in dungeon. They did it.
They did it. You've got some scary foodie things in Tiny Shivers.
I do. I have a whole section called Holiday Food Horror, which is horror written from the perspective of food on the holidays. So, a gingerbread man, a marshmallow drowning in hot chocolate, being submerged over and over by an unfeeling spoon. Yes, things like that. I do have one about Pringle chips. He is supported by the corpses of his siblings as he's on the crumbs in the bottom of the can. Yeah. Fun times.
One of those cans here today.
Elise says, at the moment, I basically have real world foods. Diving into food during world building is something I need to do. Gwenna says, green fruit. The outer flesh is an apple. The innards like a tomato with semi-sweet honey and star anise flavor. Nice. I'm a pretty picky eater. I'm good at writing about them. Black Forest cake from Emmy. It's been made the most magical way with the hell intervention needed. Oh, I'm curious now. Hello, ML. We are talking foods for Wednesday lunch break chat. The question is, if you could have any food from your whip world, what would it be? What would you like to try?
Yeah, Pokemon.
There's things in all the recipes in Korra and in Pagosa Cliffs and Enemies, I've cooked. So and there's like fruits and stuff in Relic of Time War, alien fruits and stuff that are like imagine a pomegranate that's yellow but more citrusy in flavor than pomegranate in flavor. Or they brought papples from Earth, so you can have papples.
No.
Evidently, baby ceratopsians like Triceratops and Adicaceratops like papples. So one of the characters will often be in the baby Triceratops pen, because they're his favorite of the Genosaurs, and he will sit in there, and his office overlooks the baby pen, and he will go out in the baby pen and feed them papples.
Cute. Sometimes I do crave a full English breakfast, which my characters have access to. I had 2 amazing ones when I was visiting over there in 2017. Yeah.
I feel this makes me.
My muse is just a runaway train wreck. Ignore the hummingbird. She just was like, what if this and this are together and that? So yeah. I always remind myself while writing that my characters need to eat once in a while. Yes, we were discussing that earlier. A lot of us forget the whole, oh yeah, the eating thing. Let's do the eating things. All right, the next question, of course, is the obvious one. What are foods from your worlds that you would never try? I've already talked about this. Tentacle pasta,
God.
giant sea centipede tentacle pasta. No. I would eat the meat because it's lobstery, but I don't know if I could slurp sea tentacles, sea creature tentacles, and be like okay with it.
It's
No.
just shrimp scampi. I don't know.
Yeah. What is a food from your world that you would not eat?
Haggis,
Oh, 100%. No, thank you.
blood pudding. Yeah.
But so good for the iron content.
It's so good for you.
Do they have Scotch eggs in your story?
I don't know. I do enjoy a Scotch egg, though.
Probably none of the raw meat that they are trying to use to survive as they're traveling through the jungle. The aliens can handle it pretty well, but I don't think that the human would be able to handle it very well. And she doesn't want a stomach bug in the jungle.
You don't want those parasites?
No.
Oh my god. Have anybody been watching Star Trek Academy?
No, I have not.
So the doctor from Voyager has a hollow emitter, so he walks around. He's the new chief medic at Star Trek Academy. And he scans this one character and he's like, how did you end up with this kind of parasite? And why is it in your lower intestinal tract? And the kid's like, wait, what? The guy's like, ah! And he's like, don't worry, you're taken care of. Just be aware of your bowel movements for a few days. And he walks on.
Wow.
I'm like, what did you eat?
Did you eat it or was it shoved up there?
Yeah.
From the character, I would think he ate something.
Okay.
Good.
He succumbed to peer pressure and ate something, but it's like one of those Romulan ale things, you know, things humans shouldn't consume. I'm enjoying Academy. I did not like the other two. And I know technically Lower Decks isn't Star Trek, but it's hysterical. They have some amazingly funny bits on them.
That's the animated one, right?
Foods you would never try. Yeah, in Relic of Time Wars, when Daisy is a prisoner in the Dark Dust dimension, they feed her basically cottage cheese that is made from the essence of darkness. They're trying to grow the dark. They have implanted the soul of the Dark Queen into her body, and they're basically growing at the Dark Queen, a clone that is an adulterated clone of Daisy in Daisy's body. And so they feed her essence of dark. They give her essence of darkness liquid, the dark water, to drink, and they feed her this curded pudding of essence of darkness. And she describes it as something that tastes like ash and slightly sulfury like eggs. And that is something I would not want to eat.
No.
You sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Sounds delightful.
Don't want to get enthralled. I don't think I write non-delicious foods. Maybe a salad. One of my characters doesn't like. Yeah, I have a character who doesn't like licorice in Pagosa Cliffs, and she is very surprised. She's making a cake from Sebleton, which is it's a citrusy golden cake. So it's a citrus and honey cake, velvet cake, and then the frosting is made with Sebleton, which is a honey star anise and spiced liquor that is actually a Mayan flavor profile. You mix it with sweet and sour lemon, lime, and sugar bar juice. So you make it this sweet and sour with this liquor that has a very strong star anise flavor that's from honey. And it is a very particular taste. So if you don't like licorice, you won't like it. And there's a scene where they're making this wedding cake with this very unusual flavor profile. And she has to warn this other character, you're not going to like the frosting because it has this flavor. And yeah, having tasted that liquor, I don't like licorice things. So yeah, that would be a wedding cake that I would have the obligatory taste of out of respect for the bride and groom, but I would not be eating a slice. All right. We have one last question. You wake up in your book world. Which character do you seek out to have a meal with?
Just one?
Or any of them, as many as you want.
So my main male character is the captain of the Silent Swords. That is, that's his job. So he leads this like elite force, and I would just want to hang out with his crew. There's 3 soldiers on his battalion, something, whatever. And they're all just pretty funny. And especially Tom Jin, he's like the nerdy techie guy. And I feel like I would just really vibe with him. So I'd like to hang out with Tom Jin.
So the silent swords, do they have silencers screwed onto their rapiers, or like?
That's just like, they're really like,
Assassins.
on like the stealth missions, the high profile assignments and stuff.
And the noisy swords have whiffle swords.
The noisy swords, they're coming for you.
Oh yeah, I love it.
It's like the difference between a ninja and what are the Warhammer, the big guys in Warhammer?
Yeah, like the super soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah, like chong chong chong. Wow, you're loud. But then you have the ninjas that are like shh.
Yeah, they're fast and quiet for how big they are.
You're already dead. You just haven't realized it yet.
That's right. No need.
Fall down in 2 halves. I would probably have food with my 3 POV characters, the throuple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
For me, it depends on which series. In Elo, I'd have a meal with Annie on Earth, not on Elo. No.
The food I take it you want sugar, coffee, and
I want sugar, coffee, and chocolate.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want sugar, coffee, and chocolate, and I don't want to pay to have them smuggled from Earth back to Elo. But yeah, Pagosa Cliffs, I would have like a meal a day at the Wild and Enemy Bakery. I really, really would, just because I like that food. And most of my other books, like if Relic of Time War, I would eat with Caliph. I know he's the High Lord of Adamos and the Guardian of Etheria, but he's also a gourmet cook, and with almost 4,000 years cooking experience, he knows how to make a decent meal. And Fianna Garrett, who is head of the Maisoni clan in modern times, she's a gourmet chef from Écolière Culinary Institute in Paris. So she knows how to make a good meal. But yeah, I would not let Daisy cook for me because I don't want the building to burn down.
Does the food at least survive as the building burns?
Not necessarily.
Dang it.
Caliph has a graveyard of tea kettles that she has boiled dry to the point that the enamel has popped off of them. The joke is she can burn boiling water. So, yeah. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, no, there's characters. I would love to have a meal with Miss Elizabeth from Pagosa Cliffs, just because I would love to sit around and pick the brain of a 104-year-old lady who like lived. I mean, her lifespan is so interesting to me.
The broski has left for work.
That'll be good.
Nice. I can hear my brother got in last night late. He came up to visit for a week, and I can hear him. He's awake now. He's used to driving overnights. He's a long distance truck driver. So I can hear him moving around now.
Not the shuffle of life.
The shuffle of life, yeah. Right before the stream started, the youngest called and said, "When's brunch with Uncle?" I'm like, "He's not awake yet. I have a stream. I will call you when I'm done." So I see myself making things in the future. But yeah, I love the idea of food in like favorite foods, unfavorite foods, foods that are healthy, foods that are poisonous, foods that are intoxicants. I love that real world aspect. And I think that started with reading Anne McCaffrey, of course, because they have like, if you have read the Anne McCaffrey Pern series, there's a lot of food in it.
A long time.
There is food in every book. And the other thing is in the Lord of the Rings series, if you can slog through the books, because they are, sometimes it just goes on and on and on, and you're like, it's like the Princess Bride, skip to the end of a scene.
Yeah.
But the Hobbit the Hobbit eating schedule, first breakfast, second breakfast, 11 Z's, lunch, 2 Z's,
Afternoon tea, dinner, and supper.
afternoon tea, dinner, and supper. So yeah, food is an element that you can add to books that adds an amazing level. And of course, there's whole channels on TikTok, on Insta, on YouTube, on Facebook that have reels of making anime food.
Yeah.
Like people love the making anime food in the IRL. What are you going to use for ogre meat or dragon meat? Probably pork shoulder or beef.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite animes is Cinderella Chef. Beautifully done anime. Beautifully done anime. It's the same as the K-drama. Girl gets transported back, hides herself as a boy to become a chef, because women aren't allowed to be chefs in feudal Japan or Korea. So she hides as a girl. The girl hides as a boy, traveling around, and starts her own restaurant. And then it comes out that it's a girl. And everybody's like, well, a woman can't run a restaurant. Yeah, they can.
Yeah, she has been.
And in the anime, the artwork is so beautiful, because like people, like, they'll eat her food and they'll have like this beautiful dreamlike existential experience from just the first bite. And it's like, oh, I love that.
There's a Korean restaurant down the street that I have that experience every time. So good.
Yeah, my allergy to MSG means that I have had to learn to make all of the foods that I love.
Yeah.
Asian foods that I love, and substitute things so I don't end up with so much that I end up with a headache.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This has got me thinking a lot about food for my world. This has been good for me. I've not given much thought to food.
It's having these things makes the world more relatable, because you don't know what the flavors of a world are. Like in the Pern world, they have claw, which is their coffee substitute that is made from tree bark. And in my mind, I always thought, because it was made from tree bark, it would be more like a cinnamon or carob flavor than an actual coffee flavor. like a cinnamon cocoa than an actual coffee flavor. I love descriptions of food taste. I don't see that very much. I was too slow for the brown bunny mini pepper.
She's over here just she's having a
Buena
hard time.
resist.
Are you okay?
The thing is my one of my oldest friends that her kids and my kids grew up together. She collects these, and she has her current collection is like 1,200 sets of salt and pepper shakers, going back. Her oldest one is silver ones that go back to the Civil War. They predate the Civil War.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, if 100 is better than 300.
Yeah, 100 is better than 300. So, yeah. And you know, let's see. Oh, Roy, we love you, Roy. Is he ready?
He's like, you moved back to the bed because your computer was dying, and you didn't put me on the bed with you.
Oh.
How dare!
Okay.
Sarah, feed you breakfast.
Well, that's all the topic that I have for today. Is just I figured we would have another foodie topic.
Nice.
Now I'm
Yes,
hungry.
you saved $200. I love this topic. I love foods and books. I write foods and books. I have a lot of bakers and chefs and things like that in books, and I like that it adds this level of relatability and this level of curiosity and things like that to stories when you're reading, and like especially sci-fi and fantasy, and these alternate food choices come up. In Supernatural, you know, they talk about like vampires doing things to like there was one book I read where the vampire fed his feeders specific things.
Yeah.
Because he wanted their blood to taste certain ways. And my gargoyle shifter book, the gargoyles cannot produce their own blood. So they have to they draw blood. Their bottom fangs are like hypodermics, and they will draw blood from a feeder. But the problem is their systems are extremely sensitive to chemicals. So their transfusers have to eat completely organic diets, or the gargoyles get sick. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this idea of food and consuming and eating, and what it means, not just for your characters and their survivability, but what it means for the plot itself. And it can turn into comedy. It can turn into tragedy. Somebody eats something and accidentally dies because they don't realize it's poison. Have a character who's allergic to strawberries, ends up in the far distant past, and decides that he's taken prisoner, and he's given a bowl of like moldy fruits and vegetables. And as soon as he touches the berry to his lips go numb. And so he hides those berries and saves them in case he needs to kill himself to keep from revealing the war plans later. And there's all kinds of twists and turns that you can do with foods and drinks. Intoxicants, foods turned into intoxicants, can be a way for a funny scene. It can be a way for a very tragic scene. So please keep all these in mind whenever you're writing a book. There is a lot of ways that you can use food and drink in your writing to enhance your world. Heather says, not enough anyway for me. When the character is experiencing food for the first time, the food is the biggest portion in the world building. Nice. Makes sense to me. Okay. I am your host, Mama Maggie Ward, independent author, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer. And thank you for joining us for another fun break chat, and of course a Foodie chat because I'm hosting it. We have 5 minutes until the next stream. If you are following the playlist, or if you're not, you can find the link down in the description of the video. I'm going to have to hit the Cracker Barrels across town to find them.
Oh my gosh, she is not to be deterred.
Thank you very much, Lena. Please follow your fellow chatters. This whole purpose of building up everybody to 1K to 1,000 subs is because YouTube has announced that they're going to be instituting limits, and people with like below 200 subs are going to struggle to get their notice out. People below 500 strugs, you might get their notice, you might not. YouTube is really feeling the crunch of being overwhelmed with so many small channels. And so, yeah, we are helping everybody, BookTube, AuthorTube, build up their subscriptions so that others can see their channels. Lara, would you like to give your outro, and then Laura?
Absolutely. I've been Lara Crampton. I am streaming later this evening. It's 7 p.m. my time, Mountain Standard. I don't know how that translates for y'all. Let's see. The list has me from 9 to 11 for Eastern. So I will be streaming later this evening, doing some writing sprints over there. You can follow my channel. That's kind of where I'm doing most of my work right now. I'm trying not to be on like TikTok or Instagram because they consume my life, and I want to do other things aside from scrolling. Thanks for letting me come on. I had a good time, and now I'm hungry. It's time to eat lunch and go to work. Thank you.
Nice. I'm Lauren Nettles, and I believe will be on Gwenna's channel, which is at 3 p.m. Eastern, and it is a productivity stream for 2 hours. After that, I will be hosting a break stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then I will be co-hosting Stephanie's stream at 11 p.m. Eastern. So, all over the place today. It's going to be great.
Make sure you head over to Miranda's Cauldron or Rita's channel. She's up next. Can we get a mod to put that link in the chat, please?
I don't know if I have a mod today. I don't know if Stephanie was able to get in. Let me grab that link.
I
have the link.
Okay.
Here's the. Let me put the link in the private chat.
Links in the chat. She's coming up here right away. So.
We're just gonna pop out. I'm not even gonna play the outro. I'm Mama Maggie Ward, indie author, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer. I have lots of books, and I love Foodie Chat. Yay! Be blessed and have a very, very lovely day.
We'll see you later.